Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Bowling with Buddy. I appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the video, checking out my reviews, leaving comments. Can't appreciate you guys enough, man. You guys are really helping me grow my channel. Give me some of the recognition I appreciate. It does go a long way with Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global. So, like growing the sport, like sharing the information, and today I've got a good one. I got the Summit Peak. This came out January 16th, the same time the Absolute Power was released. And I gotta tell you, I'm just a huge fan of the Summit, huge fan. So I was really kind of excited to put this ball in my hand, the Summit Peak. And I could only imagine how using this as a 1-2 combination would be really, really good. And ironically, today I did do that. We had our travel league, and first game I shot 241, second game was 244. Lanes transitioned a little bit, I moved a few more left. Put this in my hand, I shot 240. Really, really great 1-2 combination. And this ball seems to really respond well on the friction down lane and kind of gets through the fronts when they get a little toasty. I'm at Bolero Tamarack here, Tamarack, Florida, South Florida. If anybody under where that is South Florida. I'm only about 30 miles north of Miami, so yep, it's sunny. I'm wearing shorts and I am loving it. But I'm not here to talk about me or the weather. I'm here to talk about this Summit Peak, and I want to give you guys a rundown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the Summit Peak, and I'm going to compare it to the Summit itself and throw a few shots, and then I'll do one complete game with just the Summit Peak. So with enough said, let's get bowling with the Summit Peak. Now I already bowled a game here too, so I'm going to stand about 27, 28 with my feet, and I'm going to look at about 14, 15 with my arrows and see what we can do. Kept it inside. Oh, little 10-pin knocker. So, I've already bowled like 2 or 3 games on this lane as well. So, when those of you asked me to bowl on the outside, I could, but it's not going to look so great. So, with that said, I will try and throw a couple shots towards the end on the outside. Right now, I'm going to move a little bit left and throw a couple more shots where this ball's at. I'm going to stand about 27, 28, and I'm going to look at about 15 again. Both the Summit and the Summit Peak really go through the pins well. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm just going to throw a few shots so you guys can see that. Okay, so that's a few shots with the Summit Peak, and the last one I kind of grabbed on a little bit, so yeah, I jumped a little earlier, but you can see how well this ball just kind of gets through the fronts, shapes up once it hits the friction, and just mows through the pins. So I'm going to switch gears, and I'm going to switch to the Summit. Let's do the Summit here. Kind of give you an idea how this ball compares. All right, I'm in the Summit now, and I'm going to stand about 25, 26 with my feet, and I'm going to throw this ball 13, 14 just to kind of see what it'll do. It didn't recover on the backside a little much, but I really expect that. The reason I expect that is it's a more solid cover than the Summit Peak, and because of that, it's going to burn up a little more energy a little sooner, and it's not going to be as fair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move left a little bit after I pick up my spare. I'm going to move like 2 or 3 boards left, and I'm going to throw the ball over about 13, 14 at the arrows. Okay, so again, I'm not in the right part of the lane with this ball. If I was on fresh oil, it might be a little different. You might see the Summit cruising down the lane a little better. But for me, once the lane starts to transition and I don't have that hold in that part of the lane, that's why I got to switch, right? There's already been about 10 games thrown on this lane, so it's unfair to say that it's going to hold. right, so far I've thrown a couple shots. They haven't looked great. This ball is reading much earlier than the Summit Peak. So let's see if I can find a zone where this ball is going to strike. So I'm going to stand 29 with my feet. I'm going to look at about 15, 16 at the arrows. There we go. I was able to get in a little further, get the ball out there to about, let's say, 9, probably like 6, 7 board, and the ball just came running back. But I have to really work at it to make that happen. So I'm going to keep trying that a little further. Standing about 29, 30 with my feet, and I'm going to look at about 15, 16. Okay, that's what the AI core helps you do. It throws the pins around, and I got a strike. All right, one more with the Summit Peak, and then we're going to jump right back into the Summit. Believe in the AI core, people. I'm telling you, believe in it. It does help. Makes a difference, especially on those light hits. So that's enough of the Summit. Let's jump back into throwing a 1 game with the Summit Peak. All right, so now we're going to do 1 game with the Summit Peak and switch my JoPo from, I love these things, these JoPos, man. They are so secure when you put them in and so much tighter of a fit at the bottom than I've experienced with other brands, but also the feel of JoPo, it's just so smooth, really is. Anyways, let's go and do 1 game with the Summit Peak. We already know the lanes are kind of burnt up a little bit, so I'm going to stand about 28, 29 with my feet. And I'm going to look at about say 15 at the arrows. Kind of came around it. So I came around that, and when I do that, it kind of causes the ball to kind of shape and really kind of burn up its energy and didn't have any drive through the pins. So that's my fault. Let's see if we can throw a little better a shot. And I missed my 10 pin. Do not miss your spares. If you ever want to become a better bowler and you ever want to be a higher average bowler, you can't do that. Just plain and simple, you can't. There we go. Now we're on track. All right, so based on that, I'm going to jump to 30, and I'm going to throw the ball around 16, 17. Got the mix. All right, we're going to stand at about 30 and look at about 16, 17. I'm standing at 29, 30, actually 30 with my feet, and I'm going to look at it 16, 17, and I just need to get this ball down lane. When you throw it, it works. Okay, the lanes are transitioning pretty damn quick, even after only just me. I'm halfway through this game, and I've missed right a lot of times. By missing right, the ball's overhooking, it's hitting the dry early, and it's going through the nose. So I got to square it up. I'm still standing at about 29, 30. I'm going to look at about 17, 18 with my eyes, and I'm trying to just kind of get the right side of the 3-pin. let's see if I can make this last ball crisp and clean going through the pins. Okay, that one really wasn't all that bad. It was actually pretty good. What I showed you though in this video more than anything is that the Summit Peak is far more responsive off of the friction than the Summit was. The Summit responded off the friction, but is a little lazy and didn't have as much of a turn on the backside. This Summit Peak holds its energy so well through the fronts that when it finally sees the friction, it makes a jump left that is extremely strong, really strong, which is good. You want that. You want that in a symmetrical ball to have the strength to get out there to the right and make the recovery back and kind of get it through the pins. In my particular case, I wasn't chasing it left fast enough, so because of that, I was just kind of going through the nose, getting it to the right. I should have just kind of kept shimming left and would have been a little better. You want to see a really good representation of this bowling ball, check out the hype. Charles Hutchison does a great job of demonstrating this ball, but also people like Darren Tang, Chris Barnes, Sue Williams, those guys, Louis Napolis, Luke Rosedahl, all those guys have put bowling ball videos out on this particular ball, and they do a great job. We're all out here to kind of show you how the game works, how the ball works, how it works and fits in your arsenal. And for myself, today I actually used it as a 1-2 combination. I found it kind of worked, especially on a league shot. I don't know where I'm going to use it yet on a PBA condition, but we'll see. But right now, it's definitely a league ball for me. The Summit Peak and my spare ball are my kind of like a league bag for me that I'm going to use consistently. Going forward, we'll see. I'll give you a review down the road as these come out. Again, this came out January 16th, the same time Absolute Power. Check out your Pro Shop operator, and if you need a ball that's clean and responsive down lane as the lanes transition, you want to definitely put a Summit Peak in your hand. And I think that if you have something similar to an IQ Ruby, a Zen Gold label, what else we got out there? Those are the two that come to my mind. That come to my mind that kind of give you a really good, strong symmetrical. A Phase 5 is also really similar. So if you're looking to replace any of those balls, or you're looking for something that's a little earlier, but still has a good pop on it, put your Summit Peak in your hand. Till then, you guys keep striking, stay humble, and be kind.